Hello, welcome to the Learn English Lab. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a topic that is, well, profoundly important for every single one of us, no matter where we live or what we do. It's also incredibly valuable if you're looking to build your understanding and ability to discuss a wide range of related issues. We're talking about health and fitness.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we've gathered some material on the subject, and our goal is to really unpack it together.
Yeah.
We want to extract the most important knowledge, perhaps some surprising facts you weren't aware of, and, crucial insights that help you become genuinely well-informed on health and fitness relatively quickly.
Think of this as us having a conversation, exploring this material with you, highlighting what stands out as most significant or maybe interesting. The information touches on so many different aspects of health and fitness, from the absolute basics of individual well-being.
All right.
Right up to major global trends and policies that affect populations worldwide. And understanding all of this content, including the specific vocabulary that comes with it, is fantastic for your capacity to communicate effectively about these topics. It's particularly relevant, for example, if you're working on developing your English skills for something like Ielts, where topics like health are very common.
Absolutely. Being able to confidently use terms related to different aspects of health, whether it's discussing, say, a balanced diet, the benefits of exercise, or challenges like mental health stigma, it allows you to express your ideas with much greater clarity and precision.
Precision, yeah. Whether you're reading, writing, listening, or speaking about it.
Exactly.
Okay, then, let's get into this material. Where do we begin?
Well, the information we have really establishes physical health as the fundamental bedrock of overall well-being.
Right, the bedrock.
It's described as the state where your body is functioning optimally, free from disease, and capable of handling daily activities with energy and vitality.
It's like the essential operating system, isn't it? The foundation that enables everything else. If that physical health isn't robust, it becomes significantly harder to pursue any kind of goal.
Definitely.
Whether personal, educational, or professional, you just need that energy and resilience that comes from a healthy body.
And the material details quite a few specific benefits that underscore just how foundational this is. For instance, it profoundly enhances cardiovascular function.
Cardiovascular function, so the heart and circulatory system.
Precisely, the health and efficiency of your heart and blood vessels.
And the insights provided give us some really tangible outcomes from improving cardiovascular health. We're talking about a reduced risk of serious issues like heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure.
Correct, and the data points shared are quite compelling. Engaging in even a moderate level of aerobic exercise, something like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming.
Just normal stuff, yeah.
Yeah, for just 150 minutes each week can lead to a noticeable reduction in blood pressure. The sources note this can mean a drop of 5 to 8 millimillichico.
mmHg, millimeters of mercury.
That's the standard unit for measuring blood pressure.
Okay, so that's a very specific, measurable improvement from a relatively modest amount of activity.
It is. And beyond that, that same level of moderate activity is linked to a substantial cut in the risk of heart disease by a full 30%.
30%. That's a major impact from something that's quite achievable for most people. Really highlights the power of consistent, moderate effort.
Exactly. And beyond the heart, physical health is also vital for your musculoskeletal integrity.
Okay, musculoskeletal, bones and muscles.
Yes, the strength and health of your bones and muscles.
Which feels directly related to mobility, doesn't it? Just the ability to move around freely and easily in your daily life without pain or restriction.
It is, and it's absolutely crucial for preventing conditions like osteoporosis.
Right. Where bones get weaker.
Exactly, where bones lose density and become fragile, increasing the risk of fractures. The material points out that engaging in weight-bearing exercises,
Like lifting weights or...
activities where you work against gravity, like lifting weights, using resistance bands, or even just walking and running, can actively increase bone density year after year.
So it's not just about keeping your muscles strong, but reinforcing your actual skeleton.
That's right. The data suggests a tangible increase of 1 to 3% annually with consistent weight-bearing activity. It's an active process of building stronger bones.
Huh. That's quite interesting. And the sources also mention a boost to the immune system.
Yes, that's another significant benefit. Regular physical activity seems to enhance your body's natural defenses. It makes you more resilient, improves its ability to fight off infections.
So you're potentially getting sick less often? Is that the idea?
That's the idea. Studies mentioned suggest that consistent activity might reduce overall infection rates by maybe as much as 30%.
30% again. Wow.
Yeah. Furthermore, the research indicates it can even make vaccinations more effective, strengthening your body's response to them.
Okay, so when we talk about the value of physical health, we're not just talking in general terms. We can point to specific improvements like enhanced cardiovascular function, stronger musculoskeletal health, increased bone density, and better immune efficacy. Having that specific vocabulary really helps you articulate these clear, measurable benefits, especially, if you're discussing health topics, perhaps in an exam context or just in general conversation.
It really does. Now, while the benefits are clear, the material also highlights some significant contemporary challenges to maintaining good physical health.
Oh, absolutely. Modern lifestyles present quite a few obstacles. The dramatic rise of sedentary behavior is a huge one. So many jobs now involve sitting at a desk for hours on end.
Yep.
We spend so much time looking at screens, and the way many of us live, particularly in urban environments, it just doesn't naturally encourage activity, does it?
It really doesn't. And this sedentary behavior, according to the information, is directly contributing to major health issues globally. It's linked to the increase in obesity, the prevalence of type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. The scale of the problem worldwide is, frankly, quite striking.
The numbers presented are hard to ignore. The World Health Organization reports that a staggering 1.9 billion adults globally are overweight.
1.9 billion.
And 650 million are classified as obese. But what really jumps out is the trend. That obese figure has actually tripled since 1975.
Tripled.
That's a profound shift in global health demographics in just a few decades.
It really is. And urbanization itself plays a complex role here. Rapid city growth often means less readily available, safe green space or infrastructure for physical activity.
Right, fewer parks, maybe sidewalks aren't great.
Exactly. Less access to recreational facilities. And on top of that, urban life often means greater reliance on readily available but often highly processed foods.
So the environment we live in can actively make it harder to make healthy choices. It's not just about individual willpower, is it?
Not at all. The material also draws an important distinction when looking at health burdens across different parts of the world. In many lower-income nations, persistent infectious diseases like tuberculosis and malaria remain major health concerns. The sources note, for example, 10 million new TB cases reported in 2023.
Wow.
Often linked back to inadequate healthcare infrastructure.
So while affluent nations might have largely controlled many infectious diseases, that's certainly not the global reality.
Precisely. In more affluent countries, the primary health challenge has shifted significantly towards non-communicable diseases, often referred to as NCDs.
NCDs, non-communicable, meaning they don't spread person to person.
Correct. These are conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and chronic respiratory diseases.
And the data highlights just how dominant NCDs are in higher income settings. They now account for a substantial majority of deaths, around 70% in high-income countries.
That contrast is stark, and it fundamentally changes the focus of public health efforts and healthcare systems in different regions. Understanding these global patterns and being able to use terms like sedentary behavior, non-communicable diseases, or healthcare infrastructure is really essential for discussing potential solutions.
Right. Solutions like planning age-friendly cities with green spaces or working towards what you called global health equity.
Exactly.
Another critical aspect the material delves into is preventative healthcare.
Yes. This is the proactive side measures taken before you get sick to prevent illness or detect it early, rather than just treating it once it's developed. It's framed as absolutely crucial for long-term health outcomes.
For individuals and whole populations, yeah. And the examples of success here are, well, historically profound. Vaccinations are highlighted as a major win for public health.
Absolutely. The sources showcase the incredible impact. Vaccinations led to the complete eradication of smallpox globally.
Eradication. Gone.
And have reduced polio cases worldwide by an astonishing 99.9%. That's the near elimination of a devastating disease through preventive action on a massive scale.
It's amazing. Routine health screenings are also a big part of this, aren't they? Things like mammograms for breast cancer or cholesterol tests.
Yes, these fall under early detection. The idea is to catch conditions like cancer or heart disease risk factors in their earliest stages, often before symptoms even appear.
Makes sense.
And when detected early, treatment is often much more effective. The material states that early screenings can improve survival rates by up to 20%.
20%. And lifestyle interventions, like programs designed to help people quit smoking or manage their diet, they're preventative too, right?
Indeed. They have a significant impact on long-term health. Quitting smoking, as an example given, can reduce the risk of lung cancer by 50% within just 10 years of stopping.
50% in 10 years. That's a powerful illustration of how changing a behavior can fundamentally alter your health trajectory.
It really is.
But even with these proven benefits, access to preventive services isn't equal everywhere. That's a key point, isn't it?
That's a really important point the material emphasizes. In many lower-income regions, there are significant hurdles, shortages of medical facilities, a lack of trained healthcare professionals, logistical challenges, all limiting access to essential vaccinations, screenings, and preventative programs.
So discussing public health strategies really requires addressing these disparities, using concepts like preventive interventions, early detection, and critically, health equity, ensuring everyone has a fair opportunity to be as healthy as possible.
Precisely. Finally, under the umbrella of physical health, the material covers the management of chronic diseases.
Okay, so these are the long-term conditions that aren't necessarily cured but require ongoing care, like diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, or asthma.
Exactly those. The focus shifts from prevention to management, aiming to maintain quality of life and prevent complications. This often involves tools for self-monitoring.
Self-monitoring, like checking your own blood sugar.
Yes. For instance, someone with diabetes might use a glucometer to track their blood sugar levels regularly.
And consistently taking prescribed medications is obviously key.
It's essential for controlling the condition and minimizing long-term damage. The sources also highlight the positive role of patient education, giving individuals the knowledge they need to understand their condition.
Right, empowering them.
And support groups, providing a community for shared experiences and encouragement.
So it's not just medical treatment, but empowering the patient with information and support networks.
Exactly. And studies show that participation in diabetes education programs, for example, can help patients lower their HbA1c levels.
Okay, you mentioned HbA1c before. What is that again?
Yes, it's a useful term to know, especially if discussing diabetes. HbA1c is a blood test that measures your average blood sugar levels over the past 2 to 3 months.
So it gives a longer-term picture than just one reading.
Precisely. It gives a broader picture of sugar control. The material notes that diabetes education programs have helped patients lower this specific measure by about 0.8%.
Okay, 0.8%. That sounds like a significant drop in that context, but managing these conditions also faces hurdles.
Yes, the material points out that high treatment costs can be a significant financial burden for many, even in wealthier countries. And restricted healthcare access, especially in rural areas, makes getting consistent, ongoing care challenging.
So terms like chronic disease management, self-monitoring, and medication adherence are really central to discussions about healthcare systems and patient care, particularly when considering issues of access and affordability. Very useful vocabulary there.
Moving on, the material dedicates a significant section to nutrition, which it frames as the essential fuel for optimal performance.
Fuel, yeah. And that makes perfect sense. Your body needs energy and nutrients for literally everything it does, from, running a marathon to thinking clearly to regulating your emotions.
Exactly.
Nutrition isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about powering your entire system.
The information breaks down the core principles of a balanced diet, emphasizing that it's about getting the right components in the right proportions. These components are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals.
Right, the macronutrients and micronutrients. And it gives us examples of where to find these vital components in food. Complex carbohydrates.
Yeah, from whole grains like oats, brown rice, or quinoa. They provide sustained energy, avoiding those sharp energy spikes and crashes you get from simple sugars.
Right, and proteins. Lean meats, fish, eggs, legumes, tofu. Crucial for building and repairing tissues, muscles, and supporting immune function.
Then healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. They aren't just energy. They're vital for brain health, hormone regulation, and absorbing certain vitamins.
Hormone regulation, interesting connection. And then fruits and vegetables packed with micronutrients.
Yeah, those are the vitamins and minerals, tiny substances needed in smaller amounts, but absolutely essential for countless bodily processes, like vitamin C for immunity or potassium for heart function.
The material even provides a concrete recommendation from the World Health Organization on this: consuming 400 grams of fruits and vegetables daily. That's supposed to help reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases by 25%. That's a clear target we can aim for.
It is. So understanding the role of complex carbohydrates, micronutrients, how hormone regulation is influenced by diet, and the concept of sustained energy are all really useful terms when discussing healthy eating habits and public health guidelines around food.
Definitely. The material also touches on the fascinating world of dietary trends and fads. There are so many out there now.
There are. There's a huge amount of interest in optimizing health through diet, and this leads to the popularity of various approaches.
And some specific examples are mentioned. Veganism, for instance, which excludes all animal products.
It's highlighted for potential benefits like lower cholesterol levels and often a smaller environmental footprint compared to diets, including meat.
Okay.
However, the sources also note the potential risks of certain nutrient deficiencies, particularly pointing out vitamin B12, iron, and omega-3 fatty acids. These require careful attention to ensure they are obtained from fortified foods or supplements if you're following a strict vegan diet.
Right, you need to be mindful. The ketogenic diet is another one mentioned. High fat, low carb.
Yes, this approach is characterized by being very high in fats, moderate in protein, and very low in carbohydrates. It's often associated with rapid weight loss.
Yeah, you hear about that.
But the material cautions that if not managed properly, it could lead to potential downsides, such as an increase in LDL cholesterol, often called the bad cholesterol, which can increase heart disease risk. Needs care.
Okay. Intermittent fasting is also discussed. That's more about when you eat, right?
Exactly. It isn't about what you eat, but when. It involves alternating between periods of eating and fasting. The material suggests potential benefits for metabolic health, how your body processes energy,
Metabolic health.
but also stresses that it really requires medical supervision, especially for individuals with certain health conditions or those on specific medications. Not for everyone just to jump into.
Good point. And plant-based diets in general seem to be gaining a lot of traction.
Yes, these tend to focus on minimally processed foods derived primarily from plants, though they might still include some animal products, unlike strict veganism. The sources note their increasing popularity, citing benefits related to both sustainability and general health markers.
So evaluating these different dietary approaches using terms like metabolic health, nutrient deficiencies, or sustainability allows for a much more informed and nuanced conversation. It's not just black and white.
Definitely not. Dietary supplements are also covered within the nutrition section.
Ah, yes. The pills, powders, and liquids, multivitamins, omega-3 capsules, probiotics, all that stuff, often taken with the goal of filling perceived nutritional gaps in a person's diet.
The material gives the example of using vitamin D supplements in regions that receive limited sunlight. This is a common strategy to help prevent deficiencies that can contribute to conditions like osteoporosis. Sensible in that case.
But there's a clear note of caution included, isn't there?
Absolutely. The sources warn against becoming overly reliant on supplements. They note that taking too much of certain vitamins or minerals can actually lead to toxicity. Vitamin toxicity is a real thing.
Right.
And importantly, they point out that the scientific evidence supporting the effectiveness of many supplements for general health in people without a diagnosed deficiency is variable and often not very strong.
Interesting. It's a huge global market, though. The material mentions it was valued at $150 billion in 2023 alone.
That figure certainly reflects significant consumer demand and perhaps belief in their benefits. But it also underscores the regulatory challenges in such a vast and often lightly regulated market.
So, discussing supplement use requires navigating this complex area, understanding the demand, the potential targeted benefits for specific deficiencies, but also the crucial questions around evidence, over-reliance, and those regulatory challenges. Important vocabulary again.
And we also need to consider global nutrition challenges, as outlined in the material. It makes it clear that malnutrition is a much broader issue than just starvation.
Right. It's defined to include not only undernutrition, not getting enough calories or nutrients, but also overnutrition, consuming too many calories, and specific micronutrient deficiencies, lacking essential vitamins or minerals, even if calorie intake is okay.
The challenge is very significantly worldwide. In many lower-income countries, issues like childhood stunting are prevalent.
Stunting, meaning impaired growth.
Yes, exactly. The material mentions 149 million children are affected, meaning their growth is impaired due to chronic undernutrition. And widespread vitamin A deficiency affects 340 million children, increasing their risk of infections and blindness. Huge numbers.
Devastating. Meanwhile, in higher income nations, the major issue is often overconsumption, particularly of processed foods high in sugar, unhealthy fats, and salt.
Exactly. This dietary pattern is a primary driver of the global obesity and diabetes epidemic. The sources state that 422 million adults worldwide have been diagnosed with diabetes.
422 million. And food insecurity, the lack of consistent access to enough affordable, nutritious food, remains a massive global problem, often made worse by things like climate change and conflict.
The FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, reports that 2.4 billion people are affected by food insecurity. That's a staggering proportion of the global population struggling to simply access enough food.
So when we discuss potential solutions to these layered global issues, being able to use specific vocabulary like stunting, food insecurity, micronutrient deficiencies, or discussing strategies like agricultural innovation or food subsidies is crucial for clarity.
Definitely. Shifting focus now, the material highlights mental well-being, framing it as the core of resilience.
The core of resilience, I like that. This really emphasizes that mental health, how you feel, think, and behave, isn't separate from physical health. It's absolutely central to your overall state of fitness and ability to function well.
It plays a direct role in your engagement with physical fitness. Good mental health provides the motivation and energy needed for healthy behaviors like consistently exercising, making nutritious food choices, and maintaining social connections.
And on the flip side, if you're struggling with poor mental health like anxiety, depression, or chronic stress, it can manifest physically, can't it?
Oh, certainly. Leading to lethargy, making it harder to stick to healthy routines, pushing you towards unhealthy comfort foods, or maybe increasing the likelihood of substance misuse. It's all connected.
So what techniques for improvement are mentioned?
Well, mindfulness practices are highlighted as particularly effective.
Mindfulness, like meditation, yoga, maybe journaling.
Exactly, activities like that. The idea is to bring your awareness to the present moment, which can significantly reduce stress and help sharpen your focus.
And there's data on this.
Yes, so sources offer some interesting data here. A 2023 study found that even just 15 minutes of daily meditation could noticeably lower cortisol levels, that's the body's primary stress hormone, by 25%.
25%, that's a clear physiological impact from a mental practice. Impressive.
Cognitive behavioral therapy, often called CBT, is also mentioned as a powerful tool.
Right, CBT, that's a type of therapy.
Yes. A type of talk therapy that focuses on helping individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to distress. The sources note its effectiveness, showing improvement in mood for a substantial portion of patients, around 60% within just 12 weeks of starting therapy.
60% in 12 weeks. That's quite effective. So when we talk about strategies for mental health, terms like mindfulness practices, understanding cortisol levels, learning about cognitive behavioral therapy, and the overall goal of building emotional resilience are really valuable for describing these different approaches.
Very much so. And a really critical point the material raises is the issue of mental health stigma.
Stigma. This is a significant barrier in many cultures worldwide, isn't it? It refers to those negative attitudes or discrimination against people with mental health conditions. It makes individuals hesitant or unwilling to talk about their struggles or seek the help they desperately need.
It really does. The sources mention that in some societies, showing emotional vulnerability can be perceived negatively, perhaps even seen as a weakness, which can be particularly challenging for men due to societal expectations.
So what are some of the strategies discussed for reducing this stigma? How do we fight it?
Public awareness campaigns are crucial. The material highlights initiatives like Australia's Are You OK campaign.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Which encourages people to simply ask their friends and family if they're okay, as a way to open up conversations about mental health. School-based education is also key, normalizing discussions from a young age. And, importantly, ensuring counseling services are easily accessible and affordable helps remove practical barriers once someone decides to seek help. Accessible counseling is vital.
And the sheer scale of mental health issues globally really underscores the urgency of tackling this stigma.
It does. The World Health Organization estimates that 1 in 8 people worldwide experiences a mental health disorder.
1 in 8.
That number is vast and reminds us that these aren't isolated cases, but a significant public health challenge that requires open discussion and support.
So being able to discuss issues using terms like mental health stigma public awareness campaigns, and the importance of accessible counseling is vital for advocating for better support and understanding globally. Essential vocabulary for social change, really.
Agreed. Stress management techniques are also explored in detail.
Because chronic stress that is prolonged and consistently high, isn't just a feeling. It has serious physical and mental health consequences, right?
Absolutely. It causes the body to constantly release stress hormones like cortisol at elevated levels, which over time increases the risk of conditions like hypertension, depression, and a weakened immune system. The sources list several techniques to help mitigate this impact.
Techniques that help calm the nervous system, like deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and mindfulness meditation.
Yes, those kinds of calming techniques. And also more practical organizational approaches like effective time management, learning to prioritize tasks, and setting clear boundaries in personal and professional life to prevent overload.
Setting boundaries, that's a big one. Social support is also highlighted as a powerful stress reducer.
It is. Regular interaction with friends, family, or support groups provides a buffer against stress and can actively reduce stress-related health risks. A 2024 study found that having strong social support reduced stress-related health risks by 15%.
15%. And we're increasingly seeing workplaces recognizing this, offering wellness programs.
That's right. There's a growing trend of workplace wellness programs that include components like stress management workshops, mindfulness training sessions, or promoting flexible work arrangements to help employees cope.
So understanding these varied techniques for managing stress and using vocabulary like chronic stress, progressive muscle relaxation, time management, and workplace wellness is really helpful for discussing strategies to navigate modern pressures.
Very useful. Finally, within this section, the material looks at the complex relationship between mental health and technology.
Technology. This is a really fascinating area because technology seems to be a double-edged sword for mental well-being, offering both significant benefits and potential drawbacks.
That's a good way to put it. On the positive side, technology has dramatically increased access to mental health support. Mental health apps, like those offering guided meditations or mood tracking, make tools for self-care readily available on our phones.
Right, very accessible. And teletherapy, connecting with therapists or counselors remotely via video calls or online platforms, that's expanded access too, hasn't it?
Hugely, especially for people in remote areas, those with mobility issues, or those who find it difficult to attend in-person appointments. It breaks down geographical barriers.
Definitely. However, the material also points to the potential negative effects. Excessive screen time, especially late at night, can disrupt sleep and contribute to increased anxiety. And there's specific data mentioned about the impact of social media overuse, particularly on younger generations.
Yes, studies cited link the overuse of social media platforms to a noticeable increase in anxiety symptoms among teenagers, a reported 20% rise.
20% rise in anxiety symptoms, that's a significant concern. It shows that while social media connects us, it can also have unintended negative consequences for mental health if not managed carefully.
Exactly. Emerging solutions to these challenges include promoting digital detoxes, planned breaks from screens, and encouraging individuals to set clear, healthy limits on their daily screen time.
Digital detox. Interesting term. So when discussing technology's impact on mental health, we need to acknowledge its dual nature, its benefits in providing access via teletherapy or offering self-help tools, but also the challenges posed by issues like excessive screen use contributing to anxiety symptoms. Nuance is key.
Transitioning now to something perhaps most people immediately associate with fitness: exercise. The material presents it as a powerful key to longevity.
Right, exercise. Framed not just as something beneficial, but as a proven method for enhancing health, actively extending life expectancy, and significantly improving quality of life at every age. Seems hard to argue with.
Pretty much. The material outlines the importance of different types of exercise for a well-rounded fitness approach.
Okay, so not just one kind. There are aerobic activities like running, cycling, or swimming, great for your heart and lungs, building cardiovascular endurance.
Yes. Then there's strength training, using weights, resistance bands, or body weight exercises, which is vital for building muscle mass and increasing bone density, as we discussed earlier.
Right, circling back. And flexibility exercises such as yoga or Pilates, which help improve the range of motion in your joints, enhancing joint mobility.
And don't forget balance training, like practices such as Tai Chi, which are particularly beneficial for older adults to help reduce the risk of falls.
Tai Chi for balance. Makes sense. The sources include the World Health Organization's general guideline here, aiming for 150 to 300 minutes of moderate aerobic activity weekly, combined with muscle strengthening activities at least twice a week.
That's the general recommendation. So when you're describing a personal fitness routine, being able to use terms like cardiovascular endurance, bone density, and joint mobility allows you to be much more precise about the specific goals and components of that routine. Again, useful for clear communication.
Definitely. The material really emphasizes that exercise offers benefits across all life stages, which is important. It's not just for young athletes.
Not at all. For children, it's not just about burning energy. It actively supports physical growth and cognitive development.
Cognitive development. How does exercise help with that in kids? Brain function.
Well, physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, and research suggests it can improve concentration and executive functions, things like planning and problem solving. The material mentions a 2023 study linking regular exercise in children to a measurable improvement in academic performance.
Really? How much?
A reported 10% increase.
10%. That's a significant finding. It's not just recess, it's literally brain fuel for learning.
Seems like it. For adults, exercise is linked to increased productivity, better mood regulation, and significantly lowering the risk of those non-communicable diseases we discussed earlier.
Right. And for older adults, it's vital for maintaining mobility, independence, and cognitive function. It actively helps to prevent muscle and bone loss and potentially lowers the risk of conditions like dementia.
The data points to a significant impact here. Regular exercise is associated with a 30% lower risk of developing dementia.
30% lower risk of dementia. That's huge. And there's a really important social dimension to exercise too, isn't there?
Absolutely. Participating in group exercise activities, whether it's a sports team, a dance class, or a walking club, fosters social connections. This is incredibly important for overall well-being and is a powerful way to combat loneliness.
Yeah, getting out and doing something active with others. So discussing how exercise benefits individuals differently depending on their age, and being able to talk about things like cognitive development in children, productivity in adults, maintaining mobility in seniors, and fostering social connections adds real depth to the conversation.
It does. Despite the clear and numerous benefits, the material also addresses the common barriers to exercise that many people face.
Ah, yes, the obstacles. Feeling like you don't have enough time, struggling with motivation, or simply not having access to places or facilities to be active. We all know those.
We do. And environmental and socioeconomic factors also play a major role. For example, urban areas might lack safe, well-maintained parks or green spaces. Rural regions might have resource shortages, meaning no nearby gyms or community centers. And the cost of gym memberships or sports leagues can be a significant socioeconomic factor, preventing lower-income individuals or families from participating.
Right, cost is a big one. So it's not always just personal choice. The environment you live in and your economic situation can be major determinants of how active you can be. What are some potential solutions mentioned?
The sources highlight initiatives like developing free community fitness programs, organizing group walks, or outdoor exercise classes in public spaces, encouraging workplaces to provide on-site gyms or promote physical activity breaks, and the growth of online platforms has been significant.
The online workout platforms saw a huge surge, didn't they? Especially recently.
They did. The material notes their popularity grew by a remarkable 40% between 2020 and 2023.
40%.
Suggesting that for many people, the accessibility and flexibility of online options helped overcome some of those traditional barriers like time or location.
That figure points to technology being a part of the solution for some. So when discussing policies or initiatives to encourage more physical activity, understanding and addressing socioeconomic factors and promoting options like community fitness and online platforms is key.
Definitely. The material also explores alternative fitness approaches, acknowledging that one size doesn't fit all when it comes to exercise.
Right. Finding different methods that appeal to diverse interests and needs. Makes sense.
Precisely. Examples include high-intensity interval training, often called HIUA. This involves short bursts of very intense exercise followed by brief recovery periods. It's highlighted as being time efficient for achieving fitness gains.
HIIT, yeah. Get a lot done quickly. What else?
Dance-based workouts, like Zumba or other forms of dance fitness, which combine cardiovascular activity with fun and often social interaction.
Good combo.
And outdoor adventure sports like rock climbing, hiking, or kayaking, which not only provide physical exercise, but can also enhance mental resilience and connect people with nature.
Mental resilience through physical challenge. Interesting. These different methods are valuable because they broaden the accessibility of exercise and make it more appealing to a wider range of people who might not enjoy traditional gym workouts or team sports.
Exactly. And being able to discuss these alternatives using terms like high-intensity interval training, cardiovascular activity, and mental resilience allows you to describe the specific benefits they offer.
Moving now towards wrapping up the individual aspects of health, the material looks at lifestyle habits, presenting them as fundamental to building a healthy foundation.
Right. This section emphasizes that our daily routines and ongoing choices, beyond just diet and exercise, have a profound and cumulative influence on our health over time. This includes things like sleep patterns, how effectively we manage stress, the strength of our social connections, and finding a balance between work and personal life.
The importance of sleep is highlighted right at the beginning of this section, something many of us struggle with.
Indeed. The sources stress that getting enough sleep, typically recommended as 7 to 9 hours per night for adults, is absolutely vital. It's the time when your body repairs itself physically, consolidates memories, and processes information, supporting cognitive function.
Cognitive function again. Sleep helps the brain.
Yes, and it helps regulate emotions, contributing to emotional stability.
And not getting enough sleep deprivation, comes with significant risks.
It does. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to an increased risk of several serious health problems, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and hypertension. A 2024 study found that chronic lack of sufficient sleep was associated with a notable 20% higher risk of heart disease.
20% higher risk of heart disease from poor sleep? Wow. The material mentions practices to improve sleep quality, often referred to as sleep hygiene. What does that involve?
Well, it involves establishing consistent habits. Things like trying to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends. Avoiding screens emitting blue light close to bedtime. Creating a dark, quiet, cool sleep environment. Basic stuff, but effective.
Right, the basics. And emerging tools like smart mattresses and sleep tracking apps are also mentioned as ways people are monitoring and trying to improve their sleep.
They are, yeah. Technology creeping in there too. So, when discussing the vital role of sleep and strategies to get better rest, terms like sleep deprivation, cognitive function, emotional stability, and sleep hygiene are key pieces of vocabulary.
Got it. The significance of social connections and community is also covered as a critical lifestyle habit.
This is huge. Having strong relationships and feeling connected to others is shown to have tangible benefits for both mental and physical health.
And the flip side is concerning. Loneliness and social isolation are identified as significant health risks, associated with increased inflammation, weakened immune response, and worryingly, an increased risk of premature mortality.
Premature mortality. Dying earlier just from being lonely.
Essentially, yes. There's a specific statistic on that really stands out, isn't there?
Yes, a 2024 meta-analysis reviewed multiple studies and found that loneliness increases the risk of premature mortality by a significant 26%.
26%. That highlights just how vital social connection is for simply staying alive and healthy. It's not just a nice to have.
Absolutely not. Fostering belonging isn't just nice, it's a fundamental health strategy. So how can people build these connections?
Well, the material suggests actively participating in community activities, joining clubs, volunteering, taking group fitness classes, or getting involved in local cultural events, anything that gets you interacting. It also notes that virtual communities, like online forums or social media groups focused on shared interests, can provide a sense of support and connection, although the depth might differ from in-person interactions.
Right, maybe not quite the same. So understanding why social connections and active participation in community activities are fundamental aspects of health and how loneliness contributes to premature mortality is essential vocabulary for discussing public health and social well-being.
Work-life balance is another crucial lifestyle habit examined, the eternal struggle.
Tell me about it. The problem here is often overwork and chronic stress in the workplace, which can lead to burnout.
Burnout, more than just feeling tired, right?
Oh yeah, it's described as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion, often accompanied by cynicism and reduced productivity. The sources suggest strategies to promote better balance and prevent burnout.
Okay, like what? Things like advocating for flexible work hours, exploring remote work options where possible.
Yes, those kinds of structural changes, and encouraging employers to implement workplace wellness programs.
The material provides an interesting example. Scandinavian countries, known for having shorter standard work weeks, report higher levels of employee well-being,
How much higher?
noted as 15% higher in some comparisons.
15%. Maybe shorter weeks are the way to go.
Could be. And emerging trends in workplace health include offering mindfulness training sessions, promoting mental health days, or even providing opportunities for sabbaticals, extended breaks from work after a certain number of years.
Sabbaticals. Nice idea. So when discussing the challenges of burnout in the modern workforce and strategies for improving employee well-being, terms like flexible work hours, remote work, and mindfulness training are very relevant.
Definitely. Finally, under lifestyle habits, the material addresses substance use and health.
Right. This looks at the significant harmful effects of using substances such as smoking tobacco, consuming excessive amounts of alcohol, or using recreational drugs. Fairly obvious harms, perhaps, but still important.
And the global statistics on this are stark and sobering. The World Health Organization estimates that smoking causes 8 million deaths annually worldwide.
8 million. Every year. And excessive alcohol consumption significantly increases the risk of serious health problems, including liver disease. The material notes it can increase the risk of liver disease by 40%.
40% increase in liver disease risk. That's substantial. The sources also mention strategies used to address substance use on a population level.
Yes, things like harm reduction strategies, approaches that aim to reduce the negative consequences of substance use without necessarily requiring complete abstinence immediately.
Like vaping instead of smoking. Is that an example?
That's often cited as an example, yes. Using vaping as a potentially less harmful alternative for people who struggle to quit smoking altogether. Or public health campaigns promoting alcohol moderation and educating people about safe consumption limits. It's noted that some of these strategies, particularly harm reduction, can sometimes be controversial and debated in public policy discussions.
Right, not always straightforward agreement. So discussing policies around harm reduction, strategies for smoking cessation, or the risks of liver disease associated with alcohol consumption involves navigating these complex and sometimes debated topics. Important to have the right terms.
Agreed. Zooming out now from individual habits, the material moves to global health trends, providing a wider perspective on how health and fitness are shaped by major worldwide factors.
Right, the bigger picture. This section highlights that personal health isn't just about individual choices, it's profoundly influenced by large-scale demographic, technological, environmental, and political shifts.
One significant and undeniable global trend is aging populations.
The world's population is getting older, isn't it? With a growing proportion of people living longer lives.
Yes, the World Health Organization projects that by 2050, 2.1 billion people globally will be over the age of 60.
2.1 billion.
This demographic shift has massive implications for healthcare systems and societies. It increases the demand for specialized healthcare services, particularly geriatric care, focused on the needs of older people.
And services specifically for conditions common in older age, like dementia, arthritis, mobility issues, and those chronic diseases we talked about.
Correct. The sources suggest that addressing this trend requires developing solutions like creating age-friendly cities, urban environments with accessible infrastructure, safe public transport, and green spaces that cater to the needs of older residents.
Making cities easier for older people to navigate and live in.
Exactly. It also emphasizes the need for developing preventative programs specifically tailored for seniors, such as promoting exercise classes and social activities to maintain health and reduce isolation.
So discussing the challenges associated with aging population challenges requires understanding the increased need for geriatric care and proactive solutions like age-friendly cities.
Technology in health is another major global trend that is rapidly transforming health and fitness.
Technology is everywhere now, and it's definitely changing how we think about and manage our health. Fitness trackers, health apps.
Absolutely. We see it in things like wearable fitness trackers that monitor steps, heart rate, and sleep, encouraging people to be more active. Telemedicine is expanding access to healthcare significantly, allowing patients to consult with doctors remotely via video calls.
Which is huge for rural areas, as you said.
Exactly. And advancements in AI, artificial intelligence, are impacting diagnostics.
AI diagnostics. How so?
Well, AI algorithms can analyze medical images or patient data to help predict disease risk or assist in diagnosis. The material mentions models showing accuracy of up to 85% in predicting certain conditions.
85% accuracy. That's impressive potential. However, like with mental health, there's a negative side to technology's impact on physical health too.
There is. The increased time spent in front of screens, computers, phones, TVs is promoting more sedentary behavior across populations. We keep coming back to that.
We do. And the sources draw a specific link between this trend and rising obesity rates.
They do. Increased sedentary behavior from screen use is linked to a reported 15% rise in obesity rates in some studies.
So, discussing technology's role in health means weighing its clear benefits in expanding access and improving diagnostics via telemedicine and AI diagnostics against the challenges posed by increased sedentary behavior and its associated health risks. That dual nature again.
Environmental impacts on health are also presented as a major global factor that cannot be ignored.
The state of our planet directly affects our health. Makes sense, but how?
Well, air pollution, for example, is a significant cause of premature deaths globally. The World Health Organization estimates it causes 7 million premature deaths annually.
7 million.
Worsening respiratory and heart conditions.
And climate change has broader, devastating health implications, presumably.
It does. Changes in temperature, rainfall patterns, and extreme weather events disrupt essential resources like food security and water security, impacting billions of people worldwide and increasing the spread of certain infectious diseases.
That's alarming. What are some potential solutions mentioned? Mitigation strategies?
The material highlights the importance of sustainable practices, transitioning to renewable energy sources to reduce pollution, engaging in reforestation efforts to improve air quality in ecosystems, and promoting urban green spaces within cities.
Green spaces, they help with air quality and give places for activity, right?
And improve mental well-being, too. So, discussing the critical link between the environment and health requires vocabulary like air pollution, climate change, food security, and sustainable practices.
Got it. Finally, the sources touch upon global health policy.
Right. This is about how decisions made by governments and international organizations at a national or global level shape the health of entire populations. Big picture policy.
Policies like implementing universal healthcare systems, which aim to provide healthcare access to all citizens, regardless of their ability to pay.
Yes, or enacting strong regulations like bans on tobacco advertising and increasing tobacco taxes. These can have a profound influence on public health outcomes.
And there are compelling examples given of this working.
Yes. Countries with universal healthcare coverage have often seen measurable improvements in health indicators, such as reductions in mortality rates. The material mentions a 10% reduction in mortality in Canada, which has universal coverage.
Okay, and tobacco taxes?
Policies targeting substance use, like tobacco taxes, have proven effective in reducing smoking rates. Australia, for instance, has seen a 20% cut in smoking rates since 2000, partly attributed to high tobacco taxes and strong anti-smoking campaigns.
So policy really can make a difference, but implementing these policies effectively varies greatly around the world, I imagine.
It does. Challenges include political will, economic constraints, and particularly in lower-income nations, significant funding shortages and limitations in healthcare infrastructure can make effective policy implementation very difficult.
Right. So debating the effectiveness and challenges of different global health policy approaches involves understanding concepts like universal healthcare, tobacco taxes, and the practical complexities of policy implementation.
Exactly. So to bring everything together, the material emphasizes that understanding health and fitness isn't just about focusing on your personal well-being, though that's obviously important. It serves as a crucial lens through which you can understand and discuss a vast array of complex global issues.
Yeah, like poverty, inequality, environmental challenges, technological advancements. It connects to so much.
It really does.
Absolutely. It's about gaining the necessary vocabulary and the conceptual framework to really engage with this universally important subject. The specific terms we've explored throughout this deep dive: cardiovascular function, non-communicable diseases, mental health stigma, sedentary behavior, fuel insecurity, telemedicine, climate change. These are not just academic terms, they are powerful tools.
Tools for articulating complex ideas.
Yeah, for understanding reports and discussions on global issues and engaging in meaningful conversations about health and its many interconnected factors. Essential for anyone wanting to discuss world issues or, again, for learners needing this kind of language.
And understanding these different facets, physical health, nutrition, mental well-being, exercise, lifestyle habits, and global trends, provides a clear way to structure your thoughts. It helps you build well-supported arguments when discussing related topics. It gives you a framework for organizing information.
And ultimately, these are real-world issues that impact everyone, everywhere. Having this knowledge, drawn from the material we've looked at, provides you with a really valuable perspective on yourself, your community, and the world.
It equips you to understand not just how to potentially improve your own health, but also to understand and discuss the significant health challenges and opportunities facing communities and populations around the globe.
So we've journeyed from the fundamental building blocks of individual physical well-being, explored the fuel provided by nutrition, understood the strength that comes from mental resilience, delved into the power of exercise, examined the profound impact of daily lifestyle habits, and expanded our view to encompass the broader global trends and policies shaping health worldwide. It's quite a landscape.
It is indeed a complex, interconnected, and deeply important topic.
It truly is. And it leaves us with a lot to consider, doesn't it? Maybe a final thought. Given the increasing influence of global factors like technology and environmental change, how much will our personal health and fitness in the future depend solely on individual choices versus the collective actions and policies of societies and governments? Where do you see that balance shifting?
That's a really potent question, and one that will likely become even more central in the coming years, I suspect.
Food for thought. We hope this deep dive into health and fitness has been valuable for you, providing you with insights and vocabulary to think and talk about this vital subject more effectively.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration.
Like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.